So this is not gonna work for me. Okay. So what I want to do, before I go into the review, we're midway. This is week 3 for us out of 6 total weeks for Dfree. So what I plan on doing tonight, and I think we decided last night, the discussions were great, right? Last week we were talking about wills and savings and insurance and all of that. You guys had a lot of questions. We had great dialogue. So we want to continue that dialogue tonight, but we want to make sure we don't skip over, maintain the focus, which is step 9. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back 7, 8, and 9. Do we have anybody this is their first? Yeah, okay. So I didn't know why I was doing that tonight, but okay, praise the Lord. I was like, because if it wasn't, I wasn't going to do it. So, because this is Wednesday night, it would normally be a regular Bible study night. So we do have visitors that come in. So I want to do a quick review. It's not going to be over the whole chapter or anything like that. But while I'm doing that, if you came in late, please make sure you write down at least 3 things that you believe you're good at. Okay? So write those things down. Now, our week 1 was step 7. And the things that should be in place for you right now, I'm kind of on page 51. Commitment 1, identify financial professionals to advise me. Insurance professionals, financial advisor, tax advisor. Okay, so if you don't have those things in place, start thinking about, do I have someone, am I capable of doing my own taxes? Do I have anyone to help me with that? All right, a financial advisor. We've had one in front of you for the last 3 weeks. And then insurance professionals, someone to help you really take an analysis over the amount of insurance and the type of insurance that you should have. Commitment number 2 says track my spending again. And the reason why it says again, guys, is because in Dfree Beginners, which we had in the spring, that was part of the curriculum, was to create a spending plan. Okay. Commitment number 3. Commitment number 3 says, I have professional advisors. I will ask for help with the issue or issues that make me feel like I am stuck. Okay. Commitment number 5, I will determine if I can lower debt payments by refinancing 1 or more items. I will envision what I would do if I were wealthy. I gave you guys this assignment, and don't just overlook this. This is extremely powerful. I don't know, for some reason I skipped this. I didn't remember it, rather. But when I was studying for the classes for Dfree Advanced, this stuck out to me. And this is something that I started back at the beginning of the year. I increased this in my meditation, and that was envisioning what my life would be like, my confessions, my affirmations. I took that to another level, and I see a huge difference. Not only that, but in my mindset. And when issues and situations and circumstances attack my plans, then I go into what I'm believing God for, and I just start going into that place of vision, okay? So it's extremely powerful. All right, so that was week 7. Week 8, what I have highlighted is commitment 1. I will calculate how much, Rodney. I will calculate how much life insurance I need and set a date to establish the required coverage. Did anyone have to do that before we had that lesson last week? Did you know how much insurance you needed or had? Is that in place? Did you have that in place? And if it wasn't, did anybody have to go back and kind of take a look at that and make any adjustments? Anyone? Just raise your hand if you had to take a look at it. If you looked at it, everybody had the right type of insurance in place? Wasn't a problem?
I'm still working on it.
Thank you. Don't leave me hanging out here by myself. Yeah. You say you're still working on it? Okay, and we're going to go over that a bit more tonight. I believe that was part of the agenda from last week. So any questions that you may have, please feel free to ask. The second was, I will consider my options for disability insurance. I don't think we really, that was a part of the study last week as well. That particular insurance, I know in the 20s and 30s, possibly we don't give thought to that type of insurance. It's not until we need it. It's almost too late then. Go ahead and get it, because I see 20 and 30 years. Well, the last 6 months, I've gotten a phone call where people are passing away in their 30s and in their 40s from heart attacks. That's just crazy to me. So whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, or whatever, just make sure you have the proper insurance in place. Commitment number 3, I will make sure I have sufficient insurance coverage on my house, my apartment. Guys, a lot of the stories that came out of Harvey that was really, really sad were those individuals who did not have insurance. We cannot play living in Houston, Texas. Okay? So even if you're renting, get renter's insurance. If you have any questions about that, we're going to talk about that some more later. Commitment number 4, I will make sure I have sufficient health insurance for my entire family and will ask someone for suggestions about improving my coverage. Commitment number 5, I will set a date to complete my will and my health care directive, my living will. I'm going to stop right there. I'm gonna ask this very, very boldly. How many of you have a will in place? Thank you.
I think half the class didn't last week.
Half the class didn't last week. So here's my question this week. How many of you took a step to resolving that? You said you were looking at the information that you got? Okay, great. Okay. My only reason for saying that is to make sure you're not complacent and just receiving. We have a tendency, I attend so many workshops and seminars, and I stopped for a while because I was attending information. It was just piling up on my shelf. And maybe I'm by myself. But I would go to these seminars and get all this information and would not take action. So I'm asking that question to make sure that you guys are taking action with all the information that you're getting, okay? And then number 6, I think that's my final one. Number 6 says, I will designate a certified financial planner to meet with at least once a year. The one thing I want to say about that is don't think, I know there are some banks and institutions have a minimum when it comes to financial planning. Am I saying that correct? But then there are some services that are offered. There are some free services. There are some not so free services that don't have a minimum. So do your homework. Don't be afraid because you don't have $1 million walking into the room or $250,000 walking into the room that you can't have support like that. Okay, it's out there. Okay. Now this week I kind of want to do something a little bit different. I want to read. I'm on page 71. I'm going to read this, and then I'm going to share with you why I gave you the assignment that I gave you, and then I'm going to turn it back over to Rodney and Deacon Patterson to complete our discussion from last week. In the middle of what I'm reading is a message from Dr. Soros, who is the founder of the Dfree movement. Okay, if you guys did not sign in, go ahead and sign in at the table, please. Maybe one of the guys can get the sign-in sheet. Is this your first? This is not your first time, is it? Is it? It is your first time. What's your name? Rotanya. I'm Jonah. Karanda. I'm Jonah. Okay. All right. Welcome to Dfree Advance. All right. If you don't mind switching sides, or let's see, he's on that side. You got a workbook over there? Can you come sit over here so you can share with her? I don't want you to not have the materials in front of you. Okay. Okay, I'm in the workbook, I'm on page 71. And I want to read this, what he placed in here. And again, this week is all about maintaining focus. So it assumes that you've done the work from the previous chapters and you're in a place where you've got a debt pay down plan in place, you've got your spending plan in place, etc. So this week is all about maintaining focus. And I love what he said here. He says, advertising and marketing strategies abound. And in this age of endless media, we are encouraged to part with our money all the time, 24/7. That makes it imperative for us to have a strategy to remain focused so we can stay faithful to our Dfree commitments. That commitment includes increasing our incomes. No one wants to struggle and juggle for the rest of his or her life. One solution for dealing with increasingly high cost of living is drawing a higher income. I know that sounds difficult or even impossible, but everyone does something well enough to get someone to pay them to do it. Where's my lady who said she doesn't do anything?
She doesn't have a talent.
But everyone does something well enough to get someone to pay them to do it. That is the key to earning more money. It starts by looking squarely at yourself very carefully and answering the question, what do I do so well that someone will pay me to do it? Don't be humble about it. Make a list of your most outstanding attributes and talents, and then figure out who will pay you, how much to do it for them. The other way to figure out a strategy for increasing income is to identify something you love to do, something you love so much that you would almost feel guilty taking money for doing it. Not me. Everyone, I thought that was funny when I read that. Everyone has an answer to that question. You hear what he said? Everyone has an answer to that question. Repeat after me. Everyone has an answer to that question. I'm looking at my friend back there in the back of the room. Okay? Now I'm on 72. Just bear with me. I'm going somewhere with this. It says, I have a friend who has a challenged background and therefore has a hard time getting a job. But he is a husband and a father and is committed to providing for his family. He loves to clean cars. He has started a mobile car wash equipped with water and all of the tools he needs to wash, detail, and make a car look brand new. He will bring his truck to your car. He will bring his truck to your car wherever you may be. Genius. He can earn hundreds of dollars a day cleaning cars. And when he adds a few more trucks, he will be able to train. I love this. He will be able to train young men to do what he does and earn $1,000 a day cleaning cars. Somebody said, I'm getting ready to start cleaning cars. I also read about a woman who saved her house from foreclosure. I saw this story. By baking cakes and selling them to her neighbors and friends. This effort turned into a full-fledged business, and now she sells to people all across the country. So the key is to remain focused on our financial health and settle for nothing less than financial success. What I took from this entire chapter is that a lot of times after we've done the spending analysis and some people call it a budget, and we looked at everything that we have, and we tend to want to focus on the negative, what we don't have. I don't have enough insurance. I need to look at this. I don't have a financial planner, and I don't think I make enough money to have a financial plan. We started looking at all the negatives. And I think I shared it this morning. I was on the 101.5. I shared this on the radio on, yesterday. And I said this, and I'm this is what drives me. Because the scripture that God hit me with was Jeremiah 29:11. And he said, Jonah, before I placed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. So, and I gave you a purpose. I gave you an assignment. And I have to tell it the way it happened with me personally. He said, Jonah, before I placed you in your mother's womb, you and I had a conversation. And he said, I placed gifts and talents on the inside of you. And he said, what kind of father would I be if I sent you somewhere and gave you a purpose or gave you an assignment and did not provide for you to be able to do that assignment? I did not provide. And, you hear the cliche statement where God guides, he provides. And if he gives you a vision, there's provision. You hear those cliches, but do you get it? It is really the truth. So everyone in this room, God placed something on the inside of you that if you lost your job today, you would be able to survive. And so I want to encourage you to tap into that. I think I told this either last week or week before. I laid down a gift that was a very strong gift for me that I really loved doing. I'm 25 years in corporate America as an IT project manager. Basically, what I love to do is strategize. I love to strategize. Are you having lunch on me over there or dinner? Getting excited about the food? Cheetos must be good. But here's what I have to say about the gifts. It's not about how much money you can make from the gifts, even though when I talk to people, they underestimate. It has to do with your self-worth and your self-value, how you value yourself. And I realized that I was doing what I love. I just wasn't charging for it. And then one day I got really, really upset because as being a part of direct sales and doing what I was doing, I was building teams all over the world. So I would talk I may do a webinar for a team member or a webinar for Bahamas or Bermuda or whatever. And I would get off the phone and I'd be feeling so good because that's what I love to do. I love to strategize. It wasn't until one day when I'd been doing it for a while for free. How many of you know if you keep doing things for free, you're going to run into a few financial problems, right? So, because I wasn't working. I'd stepped out of corporate America. But things started happening financially to us that I wasn't used to because I'd made a very large salary before I stepped out of corporate America. But here's what God shared with me and kind of brought me into a place of this discovery of my gift. He said, Jonah, do you realize that the amount of money that you was making, you did not go to college for? I gave you that gift. Why would I not allow you to use it? Why would I ask you to put it down? So I'm very passionate about monetizing and bringing value to who God created you to be. And that's really all he's talking about here. So to maintain your focus, stay off of the what I can't do. What do I have in me? Because most of us, when you look at your budget, you may be overextended. You may not have enough. It may, be tight. Some of you may have found extra money that if you stop doing certain things, that's great. But how can we increase your income, which ultimately impacts your debt to income ratio, which ultimately impacts if you're overextended on your credit cards? Because if you make more money, that 30% is going to be a lot better that they're looking at on your credit score. So I'm all about making the money and finding out how to do it legitimately. Okay? I don't do prison. I don't do orange. All right, I like loud colors, but not jumpsuits. So I'm going to make sure that whatever I got my hands on, it is legit. I am passionate about kingdom citizens being educated. There's so many ways that you can make money from home. There's so many things out there that you need to be educated about that's changing right before your very eyes. How many of you feel like you're educated about digital currency, cryptocurrency? If my team will let me, it's not about investing. I'm not trying to encourage you to invest. What I don't want is you to be ignorant. When these things come flashing across the screen, or you see an announcement or something coming in your envelope for your bank, something in your bank, please open the envelope. And first of all, let's get there. Open the envelope and read the information from your bank, okay? So, but when you start seeing all this information coming across about cryptocurrency, digital currency, crypto mining, Bitcoin mining, you need to understand the language, because here's what happens with me. When I have a conversation with somebody and we're talking about, what I do and what I like and why and that kind of thing. If I mention that, their eyebrows go, isn't that a scam? I say, tell me what you think a scam is. And I love educating people because I'm like, you can't even have a conversation with me. I just want you to be able to have a conversation. So if you chose not to do something, you know why you chose not to do it, not because you didn't know about it. Okay? So here's this exercise. I ask you guys to write down 3 things that you're good at. What did you write down? Give me one, just one.
For me, first I put details in cars. I'm on business when I was in high school.
Okay.
So I wash cars.
Okay.
I worked at 2 jobs in high school.
So this resonated with you when I read it, didn't you? Mm-hmm. Need to do something about that. Mm-hmm.
I found that I actually like interior decorating.
Really? Did that come out of Harvey?
Actually, it did not come out of Harvey. It just kind of resurfaced in the midst of Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
And because I've always been able to kind of go into a space, and if somebody tells me what their ideas are, I can immediately kind of envision things and start kind of picturing stuff. So I found it to be very apparent during Harvey, especially when I was kind of going with friends, looking at kind of what they do with their houses, to replace. And I was like, this is probably something.
Do you know that home designers call them project managers? And you could freelance. All you have to do is show up. I mean, when you start thinking about what they do, my daughter, I'm kind of coaching her into that arena. She's built 2 houses from the foundation up. Why not? She did it herself. She picked out everything, and it's gorgeous. She's done it twice. And I told her to take pictures along the way. Now she has a portfolio because she did that. It was her home. It was her 2 homes, but she did it. So now she's pitching herself to all of these builders that are popping up around here. So that's what they call them. So yeah. The other thing is, don't you have a financial background? Do you not like doing it? Is something you want to get out of?
Oh,
And the reason why I'm picking on you with that is I'm going somewhere with this. So I thought about you today.
I struggle with it sometimes. I guess I hadn't found my happy medium.
You haven't found your happy medium? Okay.
So yeah.
So maybe this will help you find your happy medium. There's a lot of things that's going on in my business that by January 1st, it's a lot of things that's popping. I need a CPA, somebody who can handle the financial side of my business in 2019 that I trust. If you're not, you see what I'm saying? Because if God is bringing people and putting them in front of you, then if you know things like that down the pike, if you need to go take a class, whatever you need to do, you need to go make that happen. Because I'm going to be looking at people like right now, that's the only person I know that I trust at that level, especially with my money and getting inside my personal. I don't even do personal space in my house, let alone my finances. So, but I know what God is telling me because I know I heard him. He said, build a team. You're not going to be able to do this by yourself. So he said, build a team. The only other person I know is this chick in Arizona. And I don't have any problems with any of the other races, but I know what God told me. But she's the only one I know and I trust because I've been on some projects with her. So I thought about you today. I said, but when there's something that happens when preparation meets opportunity.